Okay, today's topic is modal verbs. We will go through all of the main modal verbs and perhaps a few semi-modal verbs, as they're called. And we'll go into all of the nuances because there are a lot of difficult and subtle points to remember with modal verbs. Although I've tried to simplify some of the things that you should avoid saying down here in the bottom left. But nonetheless, we will go into the details. And the first thing I want to explain with modal verbs is that just like the tenses, just like past tense, present tense and future tense, and by the way, will is a modal verb. We won't study will today because we'll do that in a future tense class. In fact, we've already done it really with the revised the tense classes. But I want you to all know that modal verbs are also found in 4 aspects: simple, continuous, perfect and perfect continuous. Now, not all modal verbs are found in all 4 aspects. For example, can is never found in other aspects, and that's the main mistake. Can have done is wrong, can be doing is wrong, and can have been doing is wrong. Okay, so that's where we're going to start, that can is only used in the simple aspect, can do, not can be doing, not can have done, and shall, which is obviously not often used anyway nowadays because it's only used, well, it's usually used in questions with I and we, and I would say that that is usually used in the simple aspect. But I must admit, shall be going or shall be staying, we shall be staying at my parents' house is correct. It's 100% correct. But it's not often seen nowadays in modern English. Okay? Sorry about the airplane, I'm sure it will go very quickly. Now, the really strange thing about can is that can can't be used in the 4 aspects. Yeah, it can be used in the passive, by the way. I just used it in the passive. It can be used in the passive, but it can't be used in these aspects. You can say, this is weird, but can't, which is negative can, isn't it? Negative can is can't. Can't can be used in the 4 aspects. And here are my examples. You can say he can't swim, and this can mean one of 2 things. And this is very often the case with the modal verbs. They are ambiguous very often. If I just write he can't swim, that might mean that he doesn't have the ability to swim. He hasn't learnt to swim. Yeah, and so it's dangerous. If he falls in the water, he might drown. But it might mean prohibition, because it might be illegal or against the rules to swim in a certain area, yeah, in a certain place. Maybe it's against the rules to swim in a certain part of the beach because it's very dangerous. There are very strong tides, very strong currents, and even if you can swim, you might drown. And for that reason, they put lots of signs up saying no swimming, and he can't swim. Nobody is allowed to swim here. So he can't swim might be a prohibition. You can't swim here. Yeah, you can't swim here. Look at the sign. And by that, I mean you mustn't swim here. And this is why I've got mustn't next to prohibition. Yeah, not allowed. But can't is also used for not allowed. Okay, so it's very often ambiguous. He can't swim probably means that he doesn't have the ability to swim because there's not much information then. It probably means that. But if we make the sentence longer and say you can't swim in this area because it's dangerous,